but we're going to learn, okay? I was shamed always as a young boy in school and growing up because my skin was very light. You know, my parents' ancestry comes from Europe, Poland, Russia. So in California, white skin is not a praiseworthy thing. As a matter of fact, I got shamed for it massively. You're so white like a ghost. I mean, really terrible.
I know.
So in my later years, I would sunbathe in order to get dark. Look at me. You're not tan. This is tan. This is, I mean, really, I'm telling you. What goes on, it's really ridiculous. Nowadays, everybody runs from the sun, okay?
Oh no, I love the sun.
Okay, so here we are. We're on class 3 in Gates of Reincarnation. Okay, we're in the, once again, what as I tell everybody, we're in a, this is a jungle safari, and I'm your guide, okay? I'm going to equip you with certain things that you need as we go on. I think yesterday we didn't get it quite across the bridge. You know, those rickety little bridges that they always trying to, you know, rickety rope bridges with just planks, long, you know, ravine. You know, the idea really is we're going to go slow. I hope it's not too slow for you, okay?
Better slow.
Better slow, okay, because, you know, sometimes I feel...
understand more.
Okay. By the way, this class should be an aliyah for all of the neshamos that were injured this week, that killed, actually, the slain of Pittsburgh. We should always pray only more for the geula, for the final redemption, and there be no anti-Semitism in this world, okay? We always have to look to God. If we see these kind of acts, of course, it means that our connection is off, and we need more connection, okay?
We also need to carry more guns.
That's on the lower level, but we always want to go shoot for the higher level of God. You know, why is this going on? And really it has to do with us and our level of connection, because if really we were connected, then of course everybody would appreciate us, okay, and what we are and what we're offering to the world, instead of let's get rid of them and it's all their fault, okay? So we've learned up until now just a few things, okay? Unbelievable. We just have to always recap a little bit, because this is building them on layer upon layer in terms of our knowledge or understanding of the soul, okay? And the ideas that we first started off with was that there are different names for soul, okay? There are 5 levels of soul. And we're going to see today, actually, it's not so simple that there are 5 levels of soul. But we're going to see that there are actually really 25 levels of soul. And really, actually, we're going to see that there are 125 levels of soul. Okay? So how do we look at that? And it sounds a little bit complicated to us. The one thing that you can come out from today is an idea, an exposure that it's not so simple. It's not just, oh, a soul here and a soul there. There's multi-layers of this journey that we're on, and it all is heading towards an unbelievable direction, okay? As we know, the direction is what we were created for. Is we were created to receive, to have an experience of the Ein Sof, or of infinity. God had a purpose for creation. He wanted to bestow. He wanted to bestow to another. The other is us. We are creations, okay? And in being so, God wants to bestow only the best to his creations, and that being himself. Okay? There's nothing better than him, because he's the source of everything. Okay? He is the source of absolutely everything. Even things that we seemingly, it doesn't seem good. Okay? And so the idea really is, of course, God created us in order that we should experience that infinite light. Now, the light is too bright, the light is too infinite, so it has to be in degradations, okay? You can't just go, a person who had eye surgery done, and of course he's sitting in a dark room with bandages on his face, on his head, around his eyes, and all of a sudden you take him out into the bright Texas sun and rip it off at one time. How you feeling? It's be devastating and detrimental and damaging. We have to take it off in a dark room, the bandages, and then slowly you let in the light, slowly, until you become accustomed to the light, okay? So the idea really is it has to come in degradations. So we learned about the 5 layers of soul, okay? We also learned that when the version of the Kabbalists is that when God said, "Let us make man," he was talking to all of the different dimensions, those different layers, those different filters that God made in order to filter down, like transformers, to filter down the light of the infinite. All of those things are called dimensions or worlds. So he spoke with all of these worlds, going from the highest, the closest to him, going down, down, down. Let us make man. He talked to them. That, in other words, everybody's going to contribute to this genie in a bottle, okay? To this Pintala being of free will, okay? That's us. So all of these different layers and different dimensions all contributed to make Adam. And in doing so, Adam is a small world that has an unbelievable connection to all of these other dimensions that we are not necessarily aware of right here and now. Okay? So we saw the world of Atzilut, and we're going to talk more about them, the world of Atzilut and Bria, Yetzira, and finally our world of Asiyah, of making. And they all have names and translations, but all of those contributed to making us. That means within us is the entire universe. Within one person is the microcosm of the entire universe. You can have an effect on everything. As a matter of fact, you do have an effect on everything, whether you like it or not. Okay? A child can go about the house and do many things. He can flip switches and undo things, and he has no idea what's going on, right? The famous parable they give, like you go into this huge dining room and it's so beautiful, and the chandeliers, and obviously you see this little rope on the wall that's tied to a nail, and you just undo the little rope, and all of a sudden that rope is holding up the chandelier, and the chandelier comes crashing down, right? Famous, everybody knows that one, right? What's this? And okay,
Then the house falls down. Right?
the house falls down. You push this button, you have no idea what this button. You have no idea. You ever done that? You've been in places where you're like, maybe this is the switch. Maybe, and then someone comes running in. No, the police are coming in 30 seconds. Okay? You have no idea what buttons, we have no idea what buttons we are pushing. Okay? But God is so patient. He understands. He's holding the fort down, putting out fires, holding this leak and that leak, and he's got a foot here. I'm just kidding. Okay? But, he's got a system here where, okay, it's user friendly, okay, but that doesn't mean that we have to work on ourselves, okay. We have to acquire what's called maturity, okay, right? Don't push that button, okay. You have till you know what it's for, okay. So the idea really is we're very much connected to many, many spiritual realms that we're not necessarily aware of. And God willing, we're getting involved in that now, okay? So that we can become familiar with it, okay? So here we are, I think we're on page, actually it doesn't have a page number. How do you like that? It's the page after 3. I think it's page 4. Oh, it has a number, sorry. I'm looking at all my notes, I didn't even notice the number, okay? The other idea that we have to understand, and that he's telling us, is our essence is our soul. We are soul. These are all just basic classes, but we have to have these in mind. Your essence of what you are is a soul. Your body and all of its craziness and everything, all the silliness, ideas, concepts, and beliefs that you picked up along the way from your parents, friends, and teachers. It's all part of that body stuff, okay? Hopefully it was something holy, and I'm sure there is holiness in it, but of course it's always usually a rewiring, a messed up wiring from the evil inclination from the dark side, okay? So here, I'm sorry, let's go back just a little bit more. We have to start on page 3. So it's called spiritual growth from level to level. So we learned that there are 5 parts of the soul. So we're going to start here. Each level of soul comes from the world corresponding it, that we're going to learn in a few minutes. So he starts with the lowest part, which is nefesh, and little by little, according to merit, and we talked about that a little bit last week, merit means zachaut, which means cleansing, polishing, he achieves new levels of soul. But he cannot receive a new level until he has rectified what he has. So here's the language of the Ari, the 16th century Kabbalist directly. He does not acquire all of them, all 5 levels of soul at one time, but rather according to his worthiness, only according to his worthiness. At first he acquires the lowest of them all, which is called a nefesh. After that, if he so merits it, he then also acquires what's called the next level, level 2. We call that ruach. This is explained in many places in the Zohar, such as Parshas Vayechi, Parshas Truma, and specifically at the beginning of Parshat Mishpatim. Come and see, when a person is born, he's given a nefesh.
Excuse
Okay?
me, Rabbi, that's
Yes.
the level we get when he's age 13?
No. Potentially, it's a good question. So really, when you're born, you get nefesh, level 1. It's basic animal soul.
Right.
Everybody shares a nefesh. All animals, all life, everything shares a nefesh. Rocks have a nefesh. Okay? They speak to one another. I'm sure you've probably heard some conversations in your garden the other day.
Maybe that's the noise.
There are. Okay, in any case, it's just a different language that we're not, familiar with, okay? But there is a language, okay? It's a vibration. Look at it as a vibration. Everything has a vibration. If atoms are shaking or moving and spinning, there's a vibration there, okay? And so at birth, a person gets a nefesh, and if he merits, then they get their ruach, level 2, at bar bat mitzvah. That's where the maturity kicks in. We said this last week, right? There's no source in the Torah about at 13 thou shalt have thy bar mitzvah and have thy buns in thy blanket, or whatever it is, the pigs in the blanket. Sorry, that's what they served at mine. Okay? Have thy herring with thy salmon, and thou shalt compete with the Joneses. And it has to be, there's no mitzvah in the Torah for bar mitzvah. It's not explicit there. It's from tradition, Kabbalistic tradition, that we know that that's where the higher level of soul potentially kicks in and comes in. Isn't that amazing? Okay, then if he merits, I'm just giving you the rest of the feed of this text here. He didn't bring it. He went ... Basically is, if he's 20, he gets his neshama. If he merits, neshama is level 3 soul. Yeah.
So when the fetus is in the womb, and I don't know exactly when the person's starting to learn for it, through mid-drop.
All in the womb, he's learning from an angel. That is correct.
So do they not have a soul at that point in time?
Nefesh. We'll get to see a little bit. It gets a little bit more complicated because nefesh also has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 inside of nefesh. Okay. So it's subdivided, and then it's subdivided again. Okay. Okay. So in other words, the nefesh of the nefesh also has a ruach neshama chaya yichida. We're going to get to that. Okay.
So
It subdivides.
What portion of the soul does the person get at bar mitzvah?
So if he merits, he gets level 2, ruach.
Oh, he gets ruach.
Ruach, level 2. Okay? And then if he merits more, he gets level 3 at 20. Yes.
Like during a year cycle, like a 1-year anniversary
Yes.
of your passing of your parents or whatever,
Yeah.
do their soul go down to a lower level so we can interact with them? How's that? Why do we do it here?
Okay, it's a good question. So I just went over a passage in the Talmud with my group. Was that there's different levels of soul in the body, and they leave at certain times, at different times. Okay, let's say you have your nefesh, level 1, level 2, and level 3. Level 1 stays with the body until it decays. The nefesh is there. Okay. Until the body decays, the nefesh will not. The neshama, when a person dies, the neshama goes up right away to its place. Okay? The nefesh stays with the body until it rots. The ruach goes back and forth. And it goes home to its familiar place and comes back.
Is that the one with slingshot?
Slingshot? Slingshot is a consequence
Okay.
of it's not
The ruach is not happy to leave?
No, the ruach is still, you understand, there's this ruach, it's still it's not yet time to go up fully. It hangs around, it's still got a nefesh there, it's connected to.
Oh.
There's a connection. of its lower part. Okay? So the ruach is like this conduit in between that goes from neshama back to nefesh, and might wander around a little bit, okay? Until the body decays and then everything goes up. However, it is taught in tradition that on the yort site, the neshama comes down to visit the place where its body was, okay? And that's why people go to the graves at the yort site, and they can have a dialogue there. You're not supposed to pray to the neshama. That's illegal, because we pray to God only. Okay? You can talk, though. I really miss you. I couldn't, or you were such a, what? Whatever it is, pour out your heart, right? Yeah.
So you go to shul and can it find you there?
Yes, don't worry about it. Everybody, it's a huge debate. Okay, there was a big debate in the Talmud. They were inconclusive. Do the dead know what's going on among the living? Do they? The Gemara, the physical dead,
Like the actual corpse? No.
the spirit.
Yeah.
Do the spirit world after they leave? Do they know what's going on among the living? Okay.
Related to the deceased, or what do you mean?
In other words, whatever. Do they know what's going on? Right? Like these two guys were traveling. These brothers had to go take care of their dad's farm who passed away, and they had to work and toil, and then they end up forgetting their learning, and it was really bad because they couldn't remember things, and they're going, gosh, if dad would see the pain that we're in now, so, and one guy's going, they don't know squat, and the other guy says, oh, they know squat. Okay, so then it goes into a debate, and they try to bring sources and things like that. The Talmud is inconclusive if they do. The Zohar says emphatically yes. They do know what's going on, and they pray for us. And if they wouldn't be praying for us, we wouldn't live half a day. Okay, now what is that type of prayer that they do for us? It doesn't matter. It's a will, it's a desire, okay? But it is the desire of the dead to seek world redemption, right? And alleviate suffering of anybody. Okay, to the degree that they can, they do pray. They do know what's going on with
My
us.
question was, do they know what's going on with the individual that you're talking about, or just everybody in general?
Who was pertinent to them, whoever they want
Okay.
to, whatever they want to do.
Okay.
If they want. There's a great passage in the Gemara. This guy, he gave his last coin away, Erev Rosh Hashanah, right? This chassid, this really godly man. His wife screamed at him. He wasn't even in the doghouse. He was in the graveyard to sleep. Okay, that's where he was sleeping on Rosh Hashanah. You remember this?
Yeah, the Talmud Brachos.
In Brachot, right? In 18, right? So he had to sleep in a graveyard while he's sleeping. These two spirits are talking to each other. One girl says to the other girl, says, come with me, let's go let's float around the world, and we'll go check out what's the news of the world, because it's Rosh Hashanah. What's the decree? We got to know what bad things. No. Well, they came back with that news because that was the news at the time. They didn't have, Iran talks versus, and it wasn't that. They want to know what's the deal in terms of the world and what calamities might be due or are going to happen. Let's go get the gossip, the latest. So we go. So the other girl says, I'm buried in a matting of reeds. I can't go. In other words, my body is not decayed to a point where my ruach can separate. I can't go. You go and come back and tell me. So the other spirit came back and told the girl and says, ooh, I got some juicy news. Whoever plans in the fourth quarter, right? No, whoever plans in the first quarter, there's going to be a huge storm. It's going to wash it all out. It's going to just whatever is going to get planted the first quarter is going to just get destroyed, right? The hail's going to come, or what's going to get destroyed. So he gets that news, stock tip, bing, goes home, knows when to plant. Everybody else is planting. He doesn't want to tell anybody else. I don't know why, okay? Because they're not going to believe him anyways. But anyways, he plants the fourth quarter, bingo, massive bumper crop. You're talking about a premium because he's the only game in town, okay? And then the next year, of course, he goes and sleeps in the cemetery again. Same dialogue between these two souls. Let's come with me. Let's go to the Pargud, the veil. Let's go go to the veil, and we can hear from behind the veil what the latest news is in terms of the calamities of the world. No, I can't go. You go. She goes, comes back. He says, oh, man, whoever plants in the fourth quarter is going to lose it. This blast wind is going to come and just kill it all. right? So he, of course, hears that, plants in the first quarter, not the fourth quarter. Everybody saw him. They planted in the fourth quarter. He planted in the first quarter. Booyah. Okay? Ba-bam. Okay? Okay, what happened was then, of course, his wife says, dude, what's the scoop? How do you know this and this? You scored twice, 2 years in a row. You knew. So he told her the story, you know. He told her the story that this one was buried, the whole details. This one was buried in a matting of reeds. She couldn't float, so therefore I got the stock tip. And so what happened was, later on, the wife of this godly man had an argument with the lady, the mother of the girl who's buried with a matting of reeds. And of course, women sometimes, you know, I don't know, but I don't know, I'm not a woman. Sometimes in the heated debate, some things can't go out. Some things they can't, you know, bridle the mouth is, you know, it's hard for men, but I think, you know, nine portions of speech were given to the world. 10 portions, of speech were given to the world, and the women took 9.
Yeah.
Women took 9.
Men say that.
No, the Talmud says that.
Just same as saying men say that.
Doesn't matter. So listen up, okay? So 9. Okay, so the idea here is, because of that, when he went to sleep in the cemetery the next year, he heard those two same spirits talking to one another and says, the living are eavesdropping on our conversation, girl. We can no longer speak, right? They heard. In other words, they knew. Okay, it was disputed. The point is, but there's other passages in the Zohar which emphatically says the dead do know what's going on. Specifically. Of course, if they want to know what's going on in the world, they can also find that out too. They know everything. Yes.
Do they visit us?
What do you mean, can they visit you?
Do they visit us?
Yes, of course, because like I said, the first year, for sure they're around. The Ruach is in the house. It goes from the house to the grave, up, down, all around. Okay? So a person could have an experience the first year of their passing.
Not after?
Could. Okay? It could. Now, we do know another passage in the Torah. I didn't know I was going to give this kind of like little diversion off the subject, but it does bring down in the Zohar that people who did die unnatural deaths don't really go up. They really hang around for a while, and that's where you got all the hauntings in different places. Okay?
What's an unnatural death?
Car accident,
Suicide.
suicide.
Anything. Like the Alamo is a really said to be a very haunted place. People have a lot of sightings there, right? The Alamo, where people died because of, the war, the battle.
Any battlefield.
Any battlefield, anything unnatural. Anything that's not in a bed, old age, in your sleep, okay? Or even old age because of sickness. Those are not natural, okay? Anything not natural. The spirit could still linger.
A heart attack or
All those.
that's unnatural?
I don't know. I can't decide what's natural and what's not natural. Okay?
Which soul is the one that leaves first, like a period of time before the
Neshama
other?
right away, Ruach, and then Nefesh.
Okay.
Got it? That's how it goes. Okay, fine. Now, sorry, let's go back. Okay, now where am I? Okay, let's go on page 3, the bottom there. Okay? All nefashot, that means the lowest part, are from the world of Asiya only. I'm going to show you in a chart, so just bear with me. All ruchot, that's level 2, are from the world of Yetzirah, that's level 2 world. All neshamot are from the world of Bria. They come from their respective worlds, dimensions. However, the majority of people do not have all 5 parts, which are called Narnechi, Nefesh, Ruach, Neshama, Chaya, Yechida. That's the abbreviation for those all 5 levels of soul, but only the lowest part called the Nefesh of Asiya. Okay? Skip that, skip the other writing and go to the next, bolder, bigger. However, even this Nefesh has many levels. That's where we got to get to a subdivision. And this is because Asiya itself also divides into what we call 5 partsufim. What is a partsuf?
The face.
He's going to tell us. Literally it means face. Okay? A partsuf. But these 5 partsufim, we're going to go over these slowly because you have to have this. I'm going to give you your gear for the jungle expedition. Okay? I'm giving you certain tools that you're going to need. Okay? To continue. Anybody who doesn't want to go on can now walk out. Okay? We're going to get these terms. I'm going to go over it with you. So we're going to go slowly. Arich Anpin, yes. Arich Anpin means long face. We're going to see that in the chart below. Abba is called dad or father. Ima is called mother. Zer Anpin is called small face. And Nukva of Zer Anpin, which is basically the wife or the female of small face. Strange names. This is from tradition. The Arizal learned from Elijah the prophet. Okay? All of this has come from ancient tradition about the names of these different Partsufim. We're going to discuss this more at length. Okay? I'm just giving you the names now. The word Partsuf, literally Partsufim, plural is Partsufim, literally means face. In Kabbalah, it also refers to the entire human shape. Okay? This is the entire human shape in terms of the, what we call it, the spiritual DNA. Okay? This is like the head. This is the right arm, left arm, right? This is going to be the torso. This is going to be the right leg, left leg. This is the genitalia, and this is the corona of the genitalia. Okay? There's all equates in a, this is very abstract, but this is called the 10 sfirot that we have in Kabbalistic doctrine, and they do relate to even our body as well. Okay? Right arm, left arm, torso. Okay? But what we experience down here is not this, but what it is a shadow of what this is. It does connect to this, but let's go slowly. In general, there are 10 sfirot, like I'm showing you here. Keter, Chachma, Bina, Chesed, Gevurah, Tiferet, Netzach, Hod, Yisod, and Malchut. We'll get to the translations. However, each one is a localized version. In each one of these little circles here is a localized version of the entire system. In other words, it is possible to discern within each one of them 10 sub-component sfirot. And within each one of those 10 are 10 others. Each one of these 10 has a mini 10. And so he says this may be likened to a photograph taken with a hologram. Like a hologram is made up of many dots, right? It's out of lasers. Any details such as the hand in the lower left-hand corner, for example, may be blown up to reveal all the basic information that is contained in the whole photograph. All the basic information of the whole is contained in the detail. And in the detail it contains all of the basic information found in the whole. In other words, in each one of these is a picture of the whole thing. In other words, in this 10, here you have a little 10, a little 10, a little 10, a little 10. The same array of this is found in each one of those, and then it even subdivides also into each one of those little 10 as a sub 10. We don't want to get too complicated, so we're just going to stop there, okay? When we see a number of sfirot joined together, in other words, you have to get all of these working in sync, like your body works in sync, right? The brain communicates with the left hand. That's amazing. You can get your hand to do that. Not everybody can do that, okay? Move their left hand, move their right hand, speak, okay? There's a communication. There's a unit here. That's many parts work together. The left leg, right leg. You can walk. It's a great thing to walk, okay? Nothing should be taken for granted. They work together in harmony. Okay? So when these 10 work together in harmony, okay, and functioning together as a system, then they are called what we'll call in Hebrew a partsuf, a whole unit, a face. Okay? It does not matter what level or sublevel that we are dealing with. Each partsuf has a unique name, and these correspond to the names of the sfirot, the names of the soul, and the names of the world. So here we're going to do this chart here, and this is going to help us a lot. Okay, I want to just get through these words fast, but we'll get it more now when we get this chart. As we see in this chart here, we see the soul. The soul, on this far left hand, you'll have the 5 levels of soul going from the highest to the lowest. Yechida, singular, or what I call unique. Chaya, life force. Neshama, breath. Ruach, wind, and nefesh, rested. We've gone over this. That's the internal part of ourselves. Okay? What God is breathing into us every moment. Okay? The external parts, when I say that there's different dimensions, God made these degradations. He had to reduce his light, transformer. He had to dim it in a series of filtrations. Each one of these filtrations is a world. It's a realm. Each contains its own entities in it. So here, the world, when we speak about it here, Yechida, singular, really is something that is even above the world of Atzilut. We don't go there. We don't touch it. It's so beyond, okay? Chaya, life force, connects with the realm of Atzilut. Now, Atzilut, also, he translates here it as emanation, but Aryeh Kaplan and others have translated also as nearness, because if I look at the Hebrew word of Etzel, hu Etzel ha-bank, hu Etzel ha-gina, he is by, he is near the park, he's near the bank. Does the word Etzel means he's near. So it's also called nearness, because this is the realm that is absolutely close to the infinite light, the closest realm to the infinite light. Okay? Look at it as in terms of a map, that there's certain gated community that you can't get into. Is there any gated communities you can't get into here in Houston? Yeah, okay. River Oaks? Okay. Maybe, I don't know. Especially when it's a Christmas light season or something. Okay? Only one day a year they open it up and the line is so long that forget it. Okay? I don't know. Everybody knows what a gated community is, and basically if you don't have the code to get in, you ain't getting in. Right. If you don't live there, you ain't getting in. If you're not invited as a guest, you ain't getting in. So imagine here, there's no invitations being sent out, you ain't getting in. But things that come out that you can actually relate to. There's something that comes out of this gated community. In other words, this infinite light. It is so bright, this place, this dimension. You cannot really perceive what is in this gated community, what is in this dimension, except what something comes out of it that we can relate to. Thank God, and that is this. We get these 10 insights, 10 thoughts, 10 concepts. You need these 10 concepts. God wanted to express, he wants a relationship with us, and you need these 10 concepts, these 10 insights in order to have that relationship. Okay? And they come in of course, a level, and it works here. This is a whole spiritual DNA here. Okay? So that's the level of Atzilut. Beriah, that's the next world. I'm on the second column, right, from the left. It means creation. We also have a nickname for this. We call that the world of the throne. I think we mentioned this last week a little bit. World of the throne is the world of the throne, the Olam HaKisei, is basically where all of the neshamot, all of the Jewish neshamot were honed from. As we say, I don't say, if I ask where you're from, you don't answer me from now on, I'm from Iowa or from California, or definitely don't tell me that you're from Brooklyn. Okay? You have to say, I'm from the throne of glory, because really we all come from the throne of glory. Okay? Okay? Yes, we do. Okay, our souls come from such a high place, we have no idea. If we were to know that. And it's very important to be always connected to this because of what happens next. What is beneath the world of Bria on the left column is the world of Yetzirah, or formation. Okay? The world of Yetzirah, formation, is actually the entire dimension where all of the angels are. It is the angelic realm. Okay? Now, the angelic realm is beneath the world of Bria, or creation, the world of the throne. Potentially, we get our energy influx from the Sfirot, our neshamas, our souls, and then we go ahead, and we're supposed to be, the goal of every Jew in life is to have dominion over the angels. Rabbi Nachman says that, right, in the Tinyana, in his famous work of Likutei Moharan, and he says the goal of a Jew is to have dominion over the angels. Okay? That's right. You're, like we talked about this last time, right? We're we're in the basement. One day we're in the basement as the male boy, right? But we're supposed to be really the CEO. You have to get to CEO status. Okay? What a challenge, right? Right? Imagine like a game like that, or you make a movie like that, right? You have 24 hours to become the CEO of this corporation, right? So, right? Okay? Make a whole comedy about that one, okay? Because the angels will accept you being the CEO if you're able to hold your position. They want to take you down. If you become the CEO, the angels are jealous and they don't like that. They don't want to listen to you, male boy. Okay? Because, right? Who are you to be my boss now, to tell us what to do? So they're jealous. and they want to take you down like king of the hill. You have to hold your position. The way to hold your position is you have to hold on to, like what Moshe Rabbeinu did when he went up to Mount Sinai. You have to hold on to the throne of glory. What does it mean to hold on to the throne of glory? You have to hold on to the root souls of all of Israel. What does it mean to hold on to the root souls of all of Israel? Okay? That means your purpose, your intention has to be, I'm doing this for all of humanity, for all of Israel and all of humanity. Now, we do this, we have the potential to do this every single morning. People don't realize this. You have the potential to do this every single morning. But first, before we go and pray, it's not in your art scroll sitter, okay? But those who know it, and I've spoken about this many times before, that before we pray, we accept upon ourselves to do the positive commandment of loving our neighbor as ourselves.
That's the Harani sentence.
Hareini mikabel alai mitzvahs aseh shel ve'ahavta l'recha kamocha. Behold, I now accept upon myself to love every Jew as myself. Now, what I try to do is this, if I remember, okay? Most of the time I got to run out to give a class in Bel Air, okay? So what we have to do is this, and it's so deep, you have to listen. If you get nothing else out of this class except this, it's worth it, okay? And I always use the idea of the one story that there was a Baal Shem Tov story, that he was basically ended up being in a challenge with another doctor who was challenging the Baal Shem Tov. Of course, this doctor went to Harvard, Yale, right? And where did the Baal Shem Tov go to school? I was in the Carpathian Mountains learning from God. Where's your diploma? Right? Right? I learned from God in the Carpathian Mountains. Okay, let's do a test. You read pulses? Yes, I read pulses, the Baal Shem Tov says. I read pulses too. I read your pulse, you'll read mine, and we'll see, right? We'll test your skills. So the doctor basically was going to read the Baal Shem Tov's pulse. The Baal Shem Tov says, I'm going to just let you know ahead of time that the pulse you're going to read in me, you will never have felt that pulse before, and you will never feel it ever. Okay? So he goes, okay. So he feels his pulse, and he goes, oh my gosh, what is this pulse? Right? I'm feeling an unbelievable pulse. I've never, ever felt this pulse before. And I've been doing this for years, right? And so the Baal Shem Tov basically explains this pulse. Okay? This pulse, I have to do that. Okay? This pulse is because I have such deep love running through my veins. The Baal Shem Tov says you have to work on 3 loves in your lifetime. You have to perfect 3 loves in your lifetime. And what are those 3 loves? Can you name them? Love of God, love of Torah, and love of Israel. Okay? Now, most people, love of God, maybe they can work it out. Love of Torah, oh, everybody loves Torah. It's so exciting. It's so thrilling to love Torah. It's so, okay. Love of Jewish people. Okay. Okay, we all know where we are. Okay? And I think that there would probably be a little bit more that we could do. Okay? Let's just talk nice. Okay? So imagine now, in the morning, when you're about to pray, and you're going to have to connect yourself to all of the Jewish souls of Israel. That's right. We are all connected. When I said that we are all part of this Partsuf, right? Some of your root comes from here. Your root comes from here. Your root comes from here. The root of your soul comes from here. Your root comes from here, here. All of us come from a different root. These are the roots that our souls stem from, like a root to a branch, to a tree trunk, to a branch. And we all are connected to a root. But nevertheless, inside everything is a piece of everything else. We're all interconnected. So there's an interconnectedness that all of the souls have. Like I always say, in our soul is a little sliver of everybody else's soul. Everybody else's soul. And when you elevate yourself, you elevate them. When you go down, they also go down. So here, when you're going to approach now to have a connection with the Almighty, you're going to pray on behalf of not just yourself, the entire Jewish people. You are connected to the Jewish people. And not only that, and the only thing that connects is love. If there's no love, there's no connection. Okay? It always has to be my love for the Jewish people, it's just so, the pulse should just beat so. Now imagine yourself doing that every single day, at least. If you're not, maybe today you'll start, tomorrow you'll be even better with that love that just is so connected. So Moshe Rabbeinu was so connected to all the root souls of Israel when he was debating with the angels on Mount Sinai over getting the Torah. The angel says, "You ain't getting this, white boy," right? Earth man, what are you doing here? Getting what? Right? So he had to grab onto the whole root souls of the Jewish people. This is according to Rabbi Nachman, which means he was totally connected in a love way to every single Jewish soul. When you're connected like that, the angels cannot bring you down. They don't have jealousy anymore. They cannot, certainly not bring you down. Okay? Because you're connected to that place, which we really are. You just got to be reminded of it. That's why every morning before you go pray, I'm connected to every Jewish soul. I love every Jew. I'm praying for every Jew. And you try to develop that pulse within yourself. Okay? So that's why we're supposed to be boss over the angels. Okay? So then there's the world of Asiya, action. That's the lowest. We're still in that column there under world, on the one over to the left, to the far left, a little bit right to the left column, world. Asiya's action, which is our world. Okay, we're in the world of action, asiya, which means making or action. Now, connected to those on this realm here are the sfirot. Okay, I should have gotten you a picture of this. I don't know if there is in the back here, a simple chart. No, there isn't. I didn't look, sorry, this morning. If there is something, I don't see any chart here. Maybe I'll make copies of you and send that out. Okay, but this is number 1. It's called Keter. Keter relates to the highest. Wisdom is number 2. Bina is number 3. Now, all of these, you have to know this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All of these, right? Chesed until Yesod is all in the world of Yetzirah, or we'll call formation. And then finally, our world relates to down here, Malchut, kingdom. This is going to help us. You have to just know these. These are just facts. I'm giving you little equipment, okay? Each one of these relates to levels of soul, okay? And relates to the external worlds as well. Now, the Partsuf is what we want to get to, okay? Is what he's talking about here.
Which these?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. These are called the 6. Really, it's 6, 3, 1, okay? Or 3.61, okay? It's 361, and we're going to get to that. But let's talk about here the Partsuf. As you see the column, if everybody's there, okay? Now, these are the names, and they're bizarre names.
Yes, they are.
Quick question. Are the Sephiroth, how do you say that word?
Sephiroth.
Are they imperfect?
They were imperfect, but they are not imperfect. But there is Sefirot of the dark side.
Wait.
Dark side. Sefirot there are.
You said they are, or
They were.
They were imperfect. They were imperfect, but that wasn't their fault. God set it up that way. It was a setup.
So
They did what's called, they were in a different, see, this is an array that we call the 3-column array. And you see all these lines connecting them? They're working together. They weren't always like this. Way back, before the world, in the primordial time, before creation, these things were set up, at least the lower 7 were set up in a way where they were all in a row. And they all collected not only their bundle of light, but they collected everybody else's bundle of light. And because it was too much light, they shattered. That's called the shattering of the vessels. Too much light is it results in a shattering. Okay? Too much influx. You can't handle it. Okay? I would like to follow the guy who won the $1.6 billion, his life, and how that's going to spiral into a wonderful destiny. Okay?
That's which one the 10 kings.
Quickest thing would be to just shake it all off and give it away to charity.
is there
Okay?
about to fix those 7 that shattered? Is that what you're saying?
We're in the process of fixing the 7 shattered. The 7 shattered. Yes.
This is still exist? How can they exist?
They're in the physicality of all that is around you. They're the physicality that you experience all around you, that's them.
That's what the shards,
The shards, the shells, right? They are all broken down and in the physicality that is all around us has a potential for you to elevate or degradate.
But this part is soul that you were elevating.
The potential is there, but now we have to fix the last part. We're trying to fix the last little smudge, and it's just a smudge. Do you know how sometimes you're trying to educate your kids? Just do this, and a simple fix. No, they can't. They get all emotionally broke down. Just push the button. No, I can't. Right? And I just do just this one little smidge. All you gotta do is, and they just like, no, they can't do it. I've had this, okay, meltdowns. It's just one little thing, you can do it, okay, but whatever, okay. So let's get into these names. You have to know these names. I have to tell you, folks, okay. And I said last week, when you're learning this wisdom, okay, 1 hour is worth 30 hours of Talmud study. Am I over the time here?
No.
Okay, 1 hour is worth 30 hours of Talmud study. Okay, it's very potent. Okay, and don't think that there's nothing that's going to come out of it if you're not getting the concepts right away. I'm going to tell you something. Just hitting the names, to mention the names, that you heard the names in your ears, has a tremendous effect in the upper worlds right here and now for your soul. Okay, the subconscious, the worlds it has a tremendous effect. Okay, on what is going on. Okay? So even though you're going to hear these names, you're not going to quite grasp it, it doesn't matter. Just bite the bullet, go forward. We're crossing the bridge. Watch out for hold on tight to the ropes.